We got our rants. We got our wrenches. Let's do this. All right, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Ranting with Wrenches. This is Joe. My name is Ricky. And this is a segment where we ask questions that all car people think about. Or maybe you don't. So, our topic for today is going to be, what is your secret love car? This could be anything that you've looked at was like, nah. Or maybe it's a car brand that you just keep, shitting on. But they put out something that kind of makes you raise your eyebrow. So, Joe.
So, my secret love car would be Evo 8. And
Ooh, I didn't think you was gonna go that route. I didn't think you was gonna go there, but it kind of makes sense.
I know, right? It's the whole, they always have the love and hate with those two brands, the Subaru and the Evos.
Yep.
But I remember the first time I seen it,
Mm-hmm.
I was watching, it was some video on Netflix, whatever. But they were comparing the two on the track, and I just like the way it looks, the way it drives. It looks very aggressive, like the pointiness of the front, the hood scoop, how it just gets that triangle, and it's wide open.
It's kind of like an arrow just coming at you on the road.
And then, like, speaking of that, Ralph, he bought two of them, I guess, which pissed me off.
At R&D at the R&D Coding YouTube channel. Go check him out. And if he sees this, you're welcome.
So he kind of pissed me off when he did that. I was a little mad. But, yeah.
Yeah, not one, but two.
Yeah, I was like, nah. But, 276 horsepower, which is more than what the Subaru comes stock.
Yeah.
Which is like 265. Yeah. But, a couple 100 pounds less than the Subaru, 326. So that's good.
Yeah, that's I would say like that's like minute. Yeah. Like a minute difference.
But 2.0 4-cylinder turbocharge.
For the older ones, I think I wanna say a 2.3.
You sure?
Maybe. I
read 2.0.
It could be 2.0. You know what I mean? Obviously, our local Evo specialist.
Yeah.
Ralph Napoleon.
He
could get at us on that. He could drop something down in the in the conversation area, and because I know the newer ones, the Evo 10s, are a 2.0 with an all aluminum block and head.
Oh wow!
So I think I know they make a two something stroker kit for the Evo 8s and the Evo 9s, which I believe he has in his white Evo in Ivy.
What's that, 9?
I believe that's an 8 with a 9 front end.
Okay. That's weird. That's nice.
Yeah, it could be sacrilege that I'm speaking. I'm not sure. I don't get a chance to go over there very, very often. But, when I do, he's usually playing Apex. Anything else?
5-speed. I think they said they have another option of 6-speed with that. But I'm not. The thing is, I don't really know a lot about Evos. It's just a car that, from seeing it, from hearing it, from seeing Ralph's, it's one of those. If I wasn't to get like a Subaru, I'll get an Evo automatically.
Yeah. I mean, I can't really blame you. Like Evo, I've always really liked the Evos. Just like you said, the style of them. I personally like them a little bit more for it's a little bit more of a refined car, where the Subaru is a little bit more brutish, where that makes it a little bit more fun, and you don't worry so much about kind of thrashing it around. But the Evo, the one thing that kind of always steers me away from the Evo is how rare they are. You know what I mean? You don't see Evos very often, even with the newer ones.
Oh yeah.
You'll see like, oh, a Lancer, and then you're like, and you get close, like, nope, it's just just a Lancer GT, piece of crap.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
some people try to fix it.
I
up
remember
with the Evo.
when they first brought out the Evo 10s, they had the Rally Art. I think only lasted like two or three cycles, and they got rid of it because it had the same technology in it, but it didn't have the same power output. They down-tuned the motor, and you could only get it in the twin clutch automatic, and people hated that. They hated that. You didn't get the stick shift version. And I think it was, I want to say it was like 210 or something the Evo 10s came with, something around there. I know it was in the 200 mark. I'm not exactly sure. But the Rally Arts came with like 190. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly everyone did that. So the people who couldn't quite afford an Evo always went with the Rally Art. And even when they came stateside, they had the Rally 8 for the Evo 8s. And people were either do a swap or they do a body swap. And I believe those only came front wheel drive, I want to say, the Rally Arts. So they didn't last long either.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't an Evo,
nope.
It was no.
All-wheel drive. I think the all-wheel drive is similar to Subaru, but it has its own little, thing to it where, like you said in like another video, it's like what they call it, like a slip thing. So if they feel like it has more power in the front and it's about to oversteer, it kicks in the back.
So it uses multiple differentials.
Yeah.
Where it can transmit the torque faster and more efficiently than a slip and grip.
Yeah.
A slip and grip usually uses oil pressure or electronic readings to engage one axle or the other, which is more of a 4x4 or a four-wheel drive kind of car. A true all-wheel drive car, all the wheels are getting power at the same time. But with a multiple diff setup, usually you have the rear diff, which will send the power to the rear wheels from the transfer shaft, and then you have your front diff, which obviously does the same thing from the transmission to the front wheels. Usually that third differential, which is an exterior on the side or somewhere in the middle, will be the one that moves the torque back and forth. So you can really control that. Audi was really known for that with their Quattro system. Subaru has had that in their STIs for, I want to say, the past, was it 10 years, maybe a little bit less, where you can hit the switch and like really control how much power goes to the front or rear. That's basically what that is. And the Evos have had it too for a long time in the higher trim levels, I believe, where you can select how much torque is going front, rear, stuff like that, and based on like whether it's tarmac, snow, sand, things like that.
Yeah, you're right. Sand. That's crazy. How you got an option for sand?
Because it's similar to snow in some ways. You put down too much power and it just kicks out all over the place. But yeah, I don't know why you would have. Maybe if you live near a beach, I don't know.
Or it doesn't.
Or it doesn't. Yeah. You taking your Evo to a desert, there's something wrong with you. I'm not taking that back.
But, they're reliable. Their engines can hold way more power than
way more. Mine's. So much more power. It's that iron block.
Yeah, 350 in mine's, and then you're talking about almost blowing the engine. You got to rebuild the whole thing, new short block,
reinforce the deck.
Yeah, all that nonsense. But then they can hold close to 500 horsepower, no problem, and still be reliable. So
I know.
That's another thing. But that's all I got for that. But that's something I would have to talk to Ralph more about because, how many of those he had right now.
Oh, dude. I mean,
crazy.
Well, he's got the two project cars right now. He's got his own personal high power gold car. Then while he was building up stuff, he had a white one, a red one. I want to say he had a blue one. I could be mistaken. But yeah, he's had a bunch of them in and out, and he gets them basically as like rollers, and fixes them up and sends them out.
I like you, Ralph. What you got?
All right, so what I have, it's it's gonna be probably pretty surprising to pretty much everybody. It is a 4th gen Honda Prelude, 1991. It had the one with the H23A1 motor. Now, I had to do some research because it's been a while since I even looked at the Honda, and all I remember was back in the day, I wanted to do one of two things. I wanted to get a Prelude and drop the Honda Accord motor from the same time, the V6, into it, or get the SI version motor and drop that into it. So the version with the H23A1 was an SI version. So for 2.3 liter 4-cylinder, that, you know, SI, which would have been the H22 swap, which was better for taking a turbo. They were all front wheel drive. Came stock with 133 horsepower and 150 foot-pounds of torque. The one thing that really caught my attention back in the day was the 4-wheel steering. So instead of it being all-wheel drive, it would, you had electrical sensors that, so if you're going slow and you're, you know, cranking it to the right, the rear wheels would, the electronically controlled tie rods would adjust and turn the wheels the opposite way to give you a tighter turning a tighter turning radius. But then if you're going faster, maintaining traction, and you're taking like a hard left, then the wheels would turn with you to help you get a better turn in. And Acura today still uses that on some of their higher trim level cars, like the TLX. So if you, or even the MDX or the RDX, if you don't get the all-wheel drive option, you can have the, so instead of the super handling all-wheel drive, you can get the super handling all-wheel steering.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, so you'll see like an AWH or AWD. And their VTEC version, which was the SI, 10.1 compression ratio, or 10-to-1 compression ratio at 187 horsepower, and the SI was a 9.8-to-1 with 158. So you definitely had some power capabilities for that. They did take very well to turbos, and the weight of them was really good. They were like really good weighted. They were very, very sleek, and like, I don't know, they're like, just the fact that, I don't know, it looked like a panther just coming down the road to me. But they were killed off by the Acura RSX. So once the Acura RSX came out, the Prelude was gone, and the Prelude, I think it had like a 5, maybe 6 generation run. And it honestly, at first look, was ugly as hell.
My brother had one.
It was ugly.
Ugly. You wouldn't even know what it was. I was like, what is that?
I think they built it to, when I was doing my research on it, they built it to compete against the Mazda Miata. A small car with moderate power that handled really well. But obviously, Honda's typical formula, front wheel drive, so you have more reliability, and it was not as hard to drive as like a Mazda Miata. But yeah, the 4th gen was where it really, really picked up steam. It really picked up steam in the 4th gen, and people were getting them left and right. Even if you go on YouTube now, you'll see guys making pretty good power with them boosted. The one video I was watching, the kid put out 330. I believe he was in Jersey. He put out 330, and he wasn't even fully tuned yet. I think it was, if I remember correctly, he said that he was running a base map, and he wasn't even fully tuned yet. He still had some more work that he wanted to get done at 330. I'm like, that's completely insane. But the only reason why I'm like, okay, he could probably go up a little bit more because of the all-wheel steering. That would help you maintain your traction. If that's the version that he had, it would help him maintain the traction and the grip and the steering. But that is my secret love car for my little mini rant.
I like that one. I mean, you really surprised me with that one.
Yeah, I mean,
because my brother had one and straight pipe.
You just flashed back.
And I don't know. When I first seen it, I was like, "What is this?" It just looked like you said, it wasn't even like a normal car. It was like slant down.
The
like
first one was ugly. Like the headlights were like small.
Yeah.
They kind of looked like the early 2000 Civics.
Mm-hmm.
It looked terrible.
But it sounded amazing. It was fast.
Yeah.
But I don't know what he did to it. I think he did like another motor swap. Is there like multiple H series out there?
Yeah. So the H23A and the H22 were the two most popular ones. The
H22.
The H22 is the SI motor, I believe.
I think he did that one. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the H23A is the inline four VTEC, because the SI one was really difficult to find. But if you did that, guys will swap out for the H23A1, which is the lower compression, which was the 9.8, which is one that took better to the turbos. And then, but the VTEC ones, the ones that were solely 10-to-1 compression VTEC, still make good power. Just a higher compression range like that, you would need like a bigger turbo in order to, and at that rate you pretty much risk of blowing your motor pretty much like right away.
Okay. But, yeah, that's a good one.
That, or you can just go with like a supercharger. All right, so that's it for this one.
Yes, sir.
If you guys like what you heard, have any comments on what we talked about, please leave them down in the comment section. Facebook, Instagram, down in the description. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell so you don't miss any more of our episodes regarding Ranting with Wrenches, Joe's Subi build, and where I'm at with my Mark IV Volkswagen Jetta. As always, Wrench Daily.